Welcome all to the YouTube channel Expert 360. Me, Mr. Biju Chandran, will be taking today the online classes on the partial differential equation, the application of partial differential equation. So when I go to partial differential equation, application of partial differential equation, I'll be teaching you the basic of partial differentiation. So how to do the partial differentiation if an equation is given, how to do the partial differentiation, and Fourier series, how the formulas for Fourier series and how to do the Fourier series, and then I will be coming into the one-dimensional wave equation and the one-dimensional heat equation. So let us come to the class. Let us come to the chapter partial differentiation, the application of partial differentiation. See, in this topic, I will take, first of all, I will be teaching you the basics of partial differentiation. That means how we are going to do the partial differentiation. Okay? Otherwise, when we come into this one time, the main thing what we have to do in the application is this one-dimensional wave equation and one-dimensional heat equation. We going for the chapter one-dimensional wave equation and one-dimensional heat equation. So when I come over there, you should be very much thorough with partial differentiation and Fourier series. Then these three, section 3 and 4 becomes very easy for you. So first of all, I will be teaching you the basis of partial differentiation, how to do the partial differentiation, and I will be going to the Fourier series. These two partial differentiation Fourier series, I will be applying in one-dimensional wave equation, the derivation of one-dimensional wave equations, and in one-dimensional heat equations, and for the problem, I will be using the same. So now let us go for the partial differentiation, how to do the partial differentiation. Okay. So now let us come into the basis of partial differentiation. Here I will be teaching you how to do the partial differentiation of a function. Now I will go for the definitions. Okay. When I teach you the definitions, you will be understanding what to do and what not to do. So see, let z is equal to f of x comma y. That means z is a function of x and y. See, in a one-dimensional wave motion, what happens? The wave is moving in x direction, the wave is moving in the x direction, and naturally the vibration of the spring will be in the y direction. So there is a movement in the x direction as well as there is a movement in the y direction. Okay, so the function, the equation will have two variables, that is, one is x and one is y. That's what it means. Z is a function of x comma y. It can be three-dimensional also. So it can be x comma y comma z. So they have three-dimensional views. You'll be having x comma y comma z. So whatever it is, now for the time being, I'll be going for let z is equal to f of x comma y be defined in domain D. So when the wave is moving in this particular direction, that is in the x direction, and the vibration is in the y direction, I will take a point on that. Let that point be x1, y1. So suppose I have a waveform like this. I have a waveform like this. See, this is a waveform. I take, so the movement is there. The movement is there in x direction. So there is a movement in the x direction, and this is the y direction. So I take a point somewhere over here. Let that point be x1, y1. So that's what the thing is. The function f of x1, y1 is therefore a function of single variable x. Hence, its derivative at x is equal to x1. With respect to x, I am differentiating with respect to x. Keeping y as a constant, I can do the differentiation with respect to y, then I will keep x as a constant. So, with respect to x, if it exists, the value is called partial derivative of f of x comma y with respect to x at x1, y1 and is denoted by dou f by dou x. I am differentiating with respect to x, keeping y as a constant. Clear? And I'll substitute, after differentiating, I'll substitute the value x1, y1. This point, x1, y1. What I did? Keeping y as a constant, I differentiated the function with respect to x. Okay. So, dou f by dou x at x is equal to x1 and y is equal to y1. Dou f of x1, y1 with respect to x, limit of delta x tending to 0, f of x1 plus delta x comma y1 plus delta y divided by delta x. There is a differentiation with respect to x, keeping y as a constant. Now see, I'll differentiate again with respect to y, keeping x as a constant and substitute the values x1 and y1. Okay? So that is dou f by dou y at x is equal to x1, y is equal to y1 is equal to dou f of x1 y1 by dou y is equal to limit of delta y tending to 0, f of x1 delta x comma y1 delta y divided by delta y, where delta y is a small increment in y direction and delta x is a small increment in x direction. So, see what is partial differentiation? How to do the partial differentiation? If I have a function in two variables, one is x and one is y, I will take the function, differentiate with respect to x, keeping y as a constant, and the next what I will do, keeping x as a constant, differentiate with respect to y. Now shall we go for the next problems? So it is very simple, right? So I'll go for the problems, then it will be perfectly clear for you how to do the partial differentiation. First problem. In this single problem itself, we will be understanding partial differentiation. Let us see what happens. F is equal to x square tan inverse y by x minus y square tan inverse x by y. Prove that dou square is z, second derivative, dou square is z by dou y dou x is equal to x square minus y square divided by x square plus y square. So you see, it is dou square is z. So I have differentiated two times. One is with respect to x and then with respect to y. That is, first of all, I have differentiated this. Z is equal to x square tan inverse y by x minus y square tan inverse x by y. With respect to x, keeping y as a constant, and then I got the result. The result I have differentiated with respect to y, keeping x as a constant. Then you are going to have dou square z divided by dou y dou x is equal to x square minus y square divided by x square plus y square. All of you can take a pen and a paper, just try to do it, then come to my video and see whether the problem which you have done, you have got it or not. So now let us go for the problem. Z dou z divided by dou. I am going to differentiate this with respect to x, keeping y as a constant. See, x square tan inverse y by x. That is the form u into v form. How will you differentiate u v? See, d u v. I put it with respect to x. Okay. So that is equal to u dash v plus v dash u. Plus sign is there in between, so I can get interchange. So the first function into the differential of the second plus differential of the first into the second. You can just reverse it, no problem. So here I have written first function, differential of the first into second function plus differential of the second into first function. You can also go as first function into differential of the second plus second function into differential of the first. You can go the either way because plus sign is in the between that. So I'll differentiate. I'll now different dou z by dou x. I will keep x square as it is and I'll differentiate tan inverse y by x. I'll differentiate tan inverse y by x. You know what is tan inverse x, right? What is tan inverse x? Differential of tan inverse x with respect to x. What is that? 1 divided by 1 plus x square. Right? So tan inverse x, the differential is 1 divided by 1 plus x square. That's d by dx of tan inverse is 1 divided by 1 plus x square. Now let us come to this. Okay. Be careful. Y is a constant. Okay. Now that is equal to x square into tan inverse y by x. That is 1 divided by 1 plus x square. That is 1 plus, here the whole thing is x. Consider this whole thing as x. My hand as completely x. So this is y by x, the whole square into. Now I have to differentiate the whole thing inside the bracket. That is y by x. I have to differentiate. Y is a constant. Y is a constant. Then 1 by x. What is the differential of 1 by x? Minus 1 by x square. It is minus 1 by x square. Right? Minus. So I finished the whole thing over there. Now I'll come to this part. No, sorry. I'll have to differentiate. I have differentiated. This part I have differentiated. And I kept this as a constant. Now I'll differentiate this, keeping this as a constant over there. Okay, so that is plus 2x into, I differentiated this, and now I have to keep this as it is, that is tan inverse of y by x. Clear now? Now I'll come to this part. Minus y square tan inverse x by y. Y is a constant. So I don't have to use u into v, right? I don't have to use u into v because y square is a constant. So y square I put like that. Now come to this. Tan inverse of x by y. I am differentiating with respect to x. Be careful, I am differentiating with respect to x. Y is a constant. Tan inverse x. You know what is tan inverse x? I have written that 1 divided by 1 plus x square, right? So this is 1 divided by 1 plus x by y, the whole square. 1 divided by 1 plus x square. Okay? Into, now x by y I have to differentiate. X by y I have to differentiate. So x by y when I differentiate, keeping y as a constant, x when I differentiate, it is 1. So it is just 1 by y. Clear? Any doubt in it? One small example so that you understand what the differentiation is. Function of function. Okay, see. Suppose y is equal to, simple differentiation I'm doing. Okay, y is equal to sine of 3x square plus 2x plus 4. I have to differentiate with respect to x. So dy by dx is equal. See what I do? I'll keep the hand over here. This is the simplest method. Keep the hand over here. Now it is what? Sine of my fingers. It is sine of my fingers. Differentiate it. What is sine x? Differential is cos x. Right? So sine of my finger. Sine of my finger. So cos of my finger. My finger. Now what? I'll put the fingers over there. What is the value of the fingers? 3x square plus 3x plus 4. This is my finger. Now what I should do? Differentiate the finger also. Into, what is it? 3x square is 6x plus 2. Clear? This is what I have done over here. See? tan inverse of my finger. It is tan inverse x. What is the differentiative? Tan inverse of x. What is the differentiative? 1 divided by 1 plus x square. So it is 1 divided by 1 plus my finger the whole square. Right? Now what should I do? What I did over here? I differentiated my fingers. Now differentiate my finger. It is y by x. Y is a constant. So it is 1 by x. So it is minus y by x square. The differential of my finger is minus y divided by x square. Are you clear with that? Do you have it now? Shall I go for the next? Suppose this is something like this. Sine square. Sine square. Okay. Now the thing has changed. You see what I'm going to do? I can put this as something like this now. Sine of 3x square plus 2x plus 4 the whole square. The whole square. My finger, not finger, I'll put the hand. The whole hand, the whole square, hand, finger. Okay? So, this whole thing, the whole square, what is the differential of that? X square, differential is 2x. So, this finger, this hand, the whole square. So, what is that? That is equal to 2 into my whole hand. Okay. Now what should you do? The thing which I have done before. See, I have to differentiate my hand now. Differentiate it. When I go for the hand, sine of 3x plus 2x. How will I do that? Sine of, just like this. So it is cos of. So into cos of my hand. Now what should we do? Cos of my fingers now. This one I have to differentiate. So into 6x plus 2. I think now the function of function is clear for you. How to do the function of function. Okay? I'll simplify now this one. So it is x square into 1. This is y square divided by x square. So it is x square plus y square. The whole divided by x square that goes to the top. So this one, put it like this. Okay? Into minus y divided by x square plus 2x tan inverse of y by x minus y square. See this? X square by y square. So it is y square plus x square, the whole divided by y square. This y square goes to the top. Okay. Now what happens is this x square and this x square can cancel out. So it is minus x square y divided by x square plus y square plus 2x tan inverse of y by x. Coming to that, y square and 1y get cancelled, so y will be remaining, so it becomes y cube. So it is minus y cube divided by x square plus y square. Okay, so this and this I'm going to get combined. So what it does become? Minus x square y divided by x square plus y square minus y cube divided by x square plus y square plus 2x tan inverse of y by x. So you see, LCM is the same, so I can add it, right? I'll take one y outside and a minus y outside. So what is this become? Now you see that minus I've taken out, 1y I'll put it out. Now what is this? This is x square remaining over here, and here plus y square divided by x square plus y square plus 2x tan inverse of y bar x. So this x square plus y square and this x square plus y square get cancelled out. And what do you have now? It is just simple 2x tan inverse of y bar x cancel out minus 1. This is what we have dou z divided by dou x is equal. Okay. Now what should I do? It is dou square z by dou y dou x. That means this is the result what I got for dou z by dou x. That is, I differentiated z with respect to x, keeping y as a constant. Now what should I do? I should differentiate this result. So this becomes dou square z. And this one I am differentiating with respect to y. Okay, I'll differentiate this with respect to y. So now let us come into Fourier series. We need this part also. I have described what is partial differentiation and how to do the partial differentiation. And now I'll come into Fourier series, because when I do the derivations for heat equations and wave equations, I need this Fourier series also. I hope you all know what is Fourier series. Still, I will just explain. See, it is a trigonometric Fourier series. You have exponential Fourier series also, but here I will be using trigonometric Fourier series. Okay, so a trigonometric Fourier series is a series of the form f of x is equal to a0 by 2 plus sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity a n cos n pi x by L plus b n sin n pi x by L. Clear? And this a0, this value a0, an and bn, they are all constants. And how to get these constants? If it is a periodic function, see what I put? If it is a periodic function, then a0 will be equal to 1 by L integral c to c plus 2L. What does it mean? The interval is in between c to c plus 2L. That means after 2L, it is going to repeat again and again. That is what we call as a periodic function. Okay, so 1 by L integral c to c plus 2L f of x dx, and an is equal to 1 by L integral c to c plus 2L f of x cos n pi x by L, and bn is equal to 1 by L integral c to c plus 2L f of x sin n pi x by L. Remember, it should be a periodic function, and the interval is, this formula is satisfied for interval c to c plus 2L, and this is what you call it as Euler's formula. You also call it as Euler's formula. It is okay. Now suppose I change the interval. I'm going to change the interval to 0. I put c is equal to 0 now. Okay, so this is 0 to L. See, it is 0 to L. Then what does the equation become? A0 is equal to 0 to L. Clear? Here 0 to L. Here 0 to L. Now clear with the formula? Now let me change that to L to 2 pi. That is, when you do the ASU circuits and all, you will be using 0 to 2 pi, right? But for suppose it is a string, you will be using the length, total length 0 to 2L. The length of the string is 5 meters. Then 2L will be equal to 5 meters. One end is 0 and the other is 5 meters. Fixed at both ends. When I pull it up, it is going to vibrate. This is what we are going to do it over here. Okay. Now here the interval I am going to make it as 2 pi. Here, when I make it as 2 pi, what does it mean? 2L is equal to 2 pi. What does it mean? L is equal to pi. Clear? So now instead of L, I have to substitute as pi. Then what does this become? It is 1 by pi integral 0 to pi
Clear? F of x dx. Now an is equal to 1 by pi integral 0 to 2 pi cos n pi x by L. Instead of L, I put as pi. Then what does it become? Pi and pi get cancelled. If I put pi over here, pi and pi get cancelled. So I can put the whole thing as cos mx. Clear? Now coming to this, Bn is equal to 1 by L, 1 by pi, integral 0 to 2 pi, f of x sine n pi x by L. L is pi. So when I put it as pi, this get cancelled off, pi and pi get cancelled off, and this becomes sine nx. I can put dx over here, right? It's an integral, so I'm going to dx. Clear now? So that is for the interval 0 to 2 pi. Now, suppose the interval is minus pi to pi. Interval is minus pi to pi. Then also the whole thing, the whole period is going to be 2 pi itself, because from minus pi to 0 gives you pi, and from 0 to pi again it gives you the value pi. Then the whole thing is going to be 2 pi. Clear? Any doubt in it? Now we have to make the changes over here also. So f of x is equal to a naught by 2 sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity a n cos n pi x by L. So here L is equal to pi. So that means what does this become? So this becomes cos mx, and this becomes bn sine mx. Now you see the formula. A trigonometry series is a series of the form f of x is equal to a naught by 2 plus sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity a n cos nx plus sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity b n sin nx. I go for the common thing sigma, okay, where a naught a n comma b n are constants, and a naught is equal to 1 by pi integral 0 to 2 pi f of x dx. A n is equal to 1 by pi integral 0 to 2 pi f of x cos nx dx, and bn is equal to 1 by pi integral 0 to 2 pi f of x sin nx for the interval 0 to 2 pi, or it can also be from minus to pi, minus pi to pi. Okay, this is what you call it as the Euler's formula. I have given the general value also, that is f of x is what you have written, a naught by 2 plus sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity a n cos n pi x by L plus sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity bn sin n pi x by L. Are you clear with the Fourier series now? Okay. So now let us come to Fourier half range series. So you have cosine series as well as sine series. So I'll now give you the expressions for cosine series. So the half range cosine series is f of x is equal to a naught by 2 plus sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity a n cos n pi x by L. You don't have bn value, you don't have the sine value. That's why you call it the cosine value. And it is a range for 0 less than x less than L. Now, where a naught is equal to 2 by L integral 0 to L f of x dx, and a n is equal to 2 by L integral 0 to L f of x. I'm sorry, this is cos mx dx. So it is a n is equal to 2 by L f of x cos nx. So it is n pi x by, right? It is n pi x by, because the value is from 0 to L. Now, suppose I put 0 less than x less than pi, then what does it come over here? This will become f of x is equal to a naught by 2 plus sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity a n cos nx. This L is going to be pi, right? So pi and pi get cancelled, and that's what you're going to get over there. And where a naught is equal to 2 by L integral 0 to L f of x dx, and a n is equal to 2 by L integral 0 to L f of x cos nx dx, because L is going to be pi. Now I'll go to sine series. Now we come to the half range sine series. We have f of x is equal to sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity bn sine n pi x by L. You don't have cosine or the constant term a naught. Okay, so you don't have a naught value, you don't have an value, so it is purely sine or odd. So you will be having only the sine value over here. You will not be having cos, or you will not be having the a naught value. So f of x is equal to sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity bn sine n pi x by L, and where bn is a constant which is equal to 2 by L integral 0 to L f of x sine n pi x by L for the range 0 less than x less than L. Now you have L is equal to pi. Suppose I have L is equal to pi. What does it happen now? So f of x is equal to sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity bn sine n pi x by L. I put L is equal to pi. Then what happens over here? Pi and pi get cancelled and the value becomes sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity bn sine nx, where bn is equal to 2 by L integral 0 to L f of x sine nx dx. You will have to remember this value because I will be using for one-dimensional wave equation. I will be using this while doing the problems. I will be coming into this. So please remember this half range sine series correctly for heat equation as well as for the one-dimensional wave equation. I'll be just telling you the half range sine series. In the Fourier series, you will compare with the half year sine series, and I'll be directly going to the equations. So you will have to remember this half range sine series. This formula f of x is equal to sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity bn sine n pi x by L, and bn is equal to 2 by L integral 0 to L f of x sine n pi x by L dx. Is very, very important. So now let us come to the derivation of the one-dimensional wave equations. See, I have a string, right? This is a string. This is fixed at this point O and the point A. You have a string. See, I just pull it. You have a string and I just pull it up and I take the point P. Let that P be x comma y. I put it as x comma y. Now, when I go for the derivations, I'll have some assumptions. So the assumptions mean, so that's what I have written assume. That is, when I just pull this up, this is going to vibrate. See, this is going to vibrate up and down. Okay, or it's going to oscillate up and down. So see, the motion takes place in one plane. So this is the motion takes place in one plane. That is the xy plane. This is the x and this is the y plane. It is going, the motion is going to take in the xy plane. That means it's going to vibrate like this, or it's going to oscillate like this. It is not going to go like this. Clear? It is not going to go like this. It is going to go only in this position and not in this position or in this position. Clear? That's what it means. The motion takes place in one plane, and this plane, each particle moves in a direction perpendicular to the equilibrium position of the string. The particle has to move. This is the equilibrium position. This is the equilibrium position. Suppose I have a string. This will be the equilibrium position of the string. Okay, and this is going to vibrate like this, or it is going to oscillate in this manner. Okay, it is not going to oscillate in this manner. So what does that mean? Next, the tension T in the string is constant. So the tension T, that is, if I take the tension at this point, or this point, or this point, or this point, any point I take, the tension is going to be remaining constant. So that means you have a uniform string. That's what it means. So the tension is good. See, the next thing is the string is uniform. The same thing what I told now. The string is uniform, perfectly elastic. That means it's going to bend. Okay, it is going to be perfectly elastic and does not offer resistance to bending. It is not going to bend. It is purely elastic. So the main things you just remember. The first thing is what? That each particle is going to move or oscillate perpendicular to the equilibrium position. 2. The tension in the string is going to be constant anywhere. 3. It is going to have the property of elasticity and it's not going to have a property of bending. So there are 3 main things you need while deriving or while taking the assumption of or deriving the form one-dimensional wave equation. Now the fourth one is the gravitational force. The gravitational force is negligible compared to the tension T in the spring. Okay, so you don't have to consider the acceleration due to gravity. That's what it means. 5. The effect of friction is negligible and the slope of the deflection curve is also negligible. This assumption is very important when I go for the derivation of the trig. Clear?